AITA for leaving when my BIL wouldn't let me in the hot tub? My BIL just bought a new house. He lives about 4 hours from us. Last weekend my husband and I went to visit him for a few days and see the house for the first time. Long story short, I got my period while I was sleeping and the guest room sheets had a small bloodstain, about the size of a quarter. My husband helped me strip the bed and I went down to the laundry room to pre-treat and then wash the sheets. When they were done, the bloodstain was 100% gone, but when we told BIL, he looked completely disgusted. He inspected the sheets super closely for a very long time and finally I was like, Jesus, BIL, if you're looking that closely and can't find a stain, can't you trust me that I got it out? He seemed really put out by the whole thing. That night, we had plans to hang out in BIL's hot tub in the backyard, but after dinner, he told me that I wasn't allowed in the hot tub because of my period. I was shocked and explained that the nighttime leak was because I hadn't been expecting my period and I'd been fast asleep all night, but that it was perfectly safe and sanitary for me to put in a tampon and sit in the hot tub for an hour. But he wouldn't budge. My husband had my back and told him that he was being ridiculous, and it ended up turning into a big argument. Eventually my husband and I decided to pack our stuff and stay at a nearby hotel, and then we drove home the next morning. Now BIL is pissed at us for leaving and for not respecting his home. He also Venmo requested my husband $100 for new sheets, which he is refusing to pay, but trust that if the stain hadn't come out, we would have been happy to replace them. Had told his whole side of the family, who've decided to fully stay out of it. I wish they had our backs more, but at least they're not piling onto us. So our husband and I for leaving and not paying for the sheets. Edit. I swore I'd never be one of those people who did this, but to all the people who say esh or YTA because of certain risk that I won't mention here, BC, this isn't a medical sub. I'll just say that if BIL was worried about that risk for me, it would be a different story. He didn't want me in the hot tub because period blood is gross. Edit number 2. For everyone asking why I even told him, it's because my period isn't a dirty little secret, it's a natural thing that happens to half of the adult population. And because I'm not going to sneak around like a cat burglar to do laundry. He heard the dryer buzz and asked about it and I told him. Edit number 3, some more FAQs. BIL has a GF who doesn't live with him. She hung out with us the first night, that was the first time I'd met her, but had to work the night of the argument so she wasn't around. IDK what she thinks of the whole situation and I'm not going to reach out about it. And BIL isn't on the spectrum, he doesn't have OCD, and he's not a germaphobe. He just thinks it's gross. Edit number 4. Wow, this really blew up. Anyway, please trust that I know my body and my flow and that on the first full day of my period I know that I can wear a tampon for a while without leaking. For what it's worth, we did go to the hotel hot tub after we checked on and I stayed in for 90 minutes and when I got out there was nary a speck of evil dirty Agina blood on my bathing suit. AITA for leaving my fiancé birthday after my stepdaughter's prank? So, I got recently engaged to my fiancé Michael. We don't live together but we agreed to move together soon. He has a 16-year daughter. I gotta be honest, she seems quite stubborn and her own dad struggles to get her to listen. I'm not close with her, which is something I know I need to work on and I foe my best. However, her pranks make it difficult for me to maintain a good relationship with her. She loves to prank and her prank can be a lot sometimes, though there's sometimes some humor there. I tried to laugh it off every time she'd prank me, but Idy's gotten too much lately. My final straw was on her dad's birthday. I came to spend the day and have celeb story dinner. My future in-laws and relatives came as well. All went well until dinner. We were about to have dinner and once we walked into the dining table, I was stunned to see my underwear hanging on a hanger in the corner. My stepdaughter looked at me, smiled and said, "Have you forgot these last time you visited Andy? Didn't want you to forget them again, so I hung them here." I was absolutely astonished, speechless even. Michael was shocked and my in-laws and other guests including Michael's friends were staring at me in awkward silence. I felt so humiliated, especially when some of the men laughed. Next thing I knew, I yelled at her and was grabbing my stuff about to leave and Michael Andy's daughter telling me to calm down, it was just a prank. I left immediately and turned my phone off. Mivael left many texts and voice messages calling me hypersensitive and claiming I ruined his birthday by walking out over a prank. We argued later and he said his daughter is a teenager and it's what they do, so my reaction was over the top and ruined the birthday for him and his family. I haven't spoken to him in days and he's expecting I visit to apologize for walking out and outsoiling at his daughter. AITA? Did I overreact? AITA for being drunk on vacation? Last weekend, I went camping with 7 other people. We went to a campground that allows alcohol and has a natural spring. We brought a lot of beer, liquor and hard cider. We drank a lot at our campsite and generally unwound from the work week. After that, we went swimming. My cousin's girlfriend tried to stop us from going swimming. She said it wasn't safe to swim while drunk. We assured her that we had done so before and were aware that it was riskier than swimming sober. We told her she didn't have to come. She did come and stood by the side the entire time, yelling at us to get out of the water. It was incredibly obnoxious and somewhat dampened the party atmosphere. When the camping trip was over and we were headed back, my sister snapped at her, "In case it isn't obvious, you're never invited to come on a family trip again, ever." Cousin's girlfriend got really upset. She said she was scared that something would happen to us, that we would die. I told her that would have been our responsibility, not hers, and she can't control what other people do. My sister added that driving to and from the campsite on the country's deadliest highway was the most dangerous thing we did all weekend, but she didn't say a word about that. She just wanted to feel morally superior. I cut her off and said we just all have different beliefs and it's fine, so shouldn't vacation together. Cousin's girlfriend has since reached out to me and tried to make me understand her point of view. I said it's water under the bridge, but she wants me to see her point of view. She said she had a moral obligation to prevent us from drinking and swimming. I said she didn't and I don't want to talk about it anymore. Things ended up getting heated, and she said she should have known better than to expect more from white trash assholes. I ended up blocking her number. I know my cousin really likes this girl, and I tried to get along with her, but I could only go so far. AITA for not letting her ruin our camping trip? AITA for not inviting my Hindu friend to my birthday dinner? I, 22F, hosted a dinner for my birthday last weekend. My favorite food in the entire world, e-steak. I love it. I booked in a reservation at this new Wagyu KBBQ place for my dinner. The place is new and the beef is top-notch quality, so it's hard to get a reservation unless you book early. One of my best friends, 22F, is Hindu and doesn't eat beef or pork. This KBBQ place literally only serves beef and pork. The only things on the menu that she would be able to eat are the sides like rice, corn, kimchi, etc. I didn't invite her to the dinner and instead we went out for Indian food the day before my birthday. When she found out she wasn't invited the day after my birthday, she got upset. I sent her a long paragraph to say that I was sorry and that the only reason she wasn't invited was because she wouldn't be able to eat anything, hence why I went out with her privately the day before. She told me that I should have just picked another restaurant. I think it's a bit entitled of her to want me to change my plans for her. I've wanted to go to this new KBBQ place for months. AITA? Edit. Thank you everyone for your replies. My friend and I have patched things up. I will absolutely communicate more openly in the future. Just wanted to clarify a few things because I've been receiving some hate. I'm not racist and have nothing against Hindus. I come from an Indian background myself and have family members who are Hindu. I mentioned this in the post as I wanted to make it clear that my friend wouldn't be able to eat anything that touched the grill, even vegetables. It's very strict for her due to her religion, unlike someone who is vegetarian for non-religious reasons who, for example, may be fine with eating vegetables off the same grill. You guys are right that she could have come and ate some sides. But to be honest, it's so awkward to have one person sitting at the table, not eating, looking around at all the food. This is even more awkward at KBBQ where everyone is sharing food. And this place is more upscale, not like a buffet-style place where they have fried chicken and other dishes too. Trust me when I say I looked at the menu lol. And my friend told me that she would have felt awkward there. After we patched things up, I can't believe I have to say this again, but no, I'm not racist because I took her out to eat Indian food. We both like Indian food. I wasn't stereotyping her. My friend only made the comment to change restaurants because she was mad. She's not an awful person and no, I'm not ending my friendship with her over a dinner. Some of you guys are crazy. AITA for not saying anything about a couple's baby while petting their dog? Yesterday, when I, 24F, went for a morning jog in the park, I saw a couple walking one of the most adorable puppies I have ever seen in my life. The puppy locked eyes with me, and that was it, wagging her tail, tongue out, smiling, trying to pull the husband in my direction. I paused my jog and ran over to ask if I could say hello, and they said of course, the puppy wouldn't have allowed me. Not to lowly love dogs, so I was in heaven. I spent several minutes on the ground with her, getting all kinds of love and affection and asking her owners her name, how old, etc. She also happened to be the same breed as the dog I grew up with who passed away a few weeks ago, a golden retriever who was my best friend, so this was especially comforting for me. A few minutes into talking, to clarify, about 2 minutes, and I was probably with them for about 4 total. 2 with the dog, 2 the wife being mad and the husband getting her to leave. I noticed the wife starting to look irritated. At first, I figured I might have overstayed my welcome, so I decided to back off. I got up and said something like, "I'll let you get back to your walk now, but thank you so much." That was the highlight of my day. As the husband was saying goodbye to me, the wife interrupts him and goes, "Really?" I was pretty confused, so I asked her if something was wrong. See, the couple also had a baby with them, a little girl sleeping in a stroller. I'm bad with ages, but if I had to guess, she was probably around a month-ish old. The wife said I was beyond rude for spending all this time cooing over the dog, but not saying anything about her newborn. I have absolutely nothing against babies or children in the slightest, including this woman's daughter. I see them as other human beings just like me. But I won't lie, babies and kids have never elicited the same instant warm feelings that dogs and all animals do for me. This is to say, I've never really been the type to coo at babies. I don't hate or dislike them at all. I just regard them in the same way I regard all strangers regardless of age. Anyway, before I could get a word in, the husband began ushering her away and told me to have a good day, though I could still hear her muttering things about me under her breath as they left. I didn't mean to be rude, but I'm wondering now if I actually was. AITA?